All right, everybody, this is Evan Rogers. Why am I starting off a video with all right? Hey there, everybody. This is Evan Rogers. I'm going through the JLPT N4 grammar. We are on number 11, and I hope that you're excited as I am. I'm trying to sound mellow, keep myself calm so I don't slur and talk really fast, so you can hear me speak properly and actually hear what the heck I have to say. So here's hoping that works. All right, just a reminder, I do this all myself. I'd appreciate some donations. Keep me afloat, keep me going, make sure that I know this is worth it. Links in the description. Patreon subscribers and Subscribe Star subscribers get little bonuses as I go through and make stuff every month. That being said, let's just jump right in. Here we go. 私は blank 間、スーパーでアルバイトをしてました。スーパーでアルバイトをしていました。All right. していました can have one of two meanings. Is the te form of a verb followed by imas, the iru form, but here it's past tense. This can generate the idea of was at the time currently doing it. So like in the past on Friday, I was, reading a book during noon. Or it can mean the idea of have been doing. So like I have been reading for 3 hours. So from the past continuously until now is also the idea there. But this one would have to be had been doing. So judging from the beginning here, it sounds like it happened in the past. So and it looks like we're talking about through a time. So I'm going to go with past continuous. So here we have all the answers are natsuyasumi something. Okay? Or just this one doesn't have anything after the natsuyasumi number 4. So what they're trying to say here is last summer break, I worked a part-time job. So here I worked a part-time job makes sense, but notice it says during, or this idea of ida is like during a time period or during a span of time. Thus, the continuous idea makes sense. If we just said natsuyasumi and there was no ida, hint, hint, it's not 4, then shimashita would totally work. This summer break, I did work. So that would make sense if it was just natsuyasumi and there was no ida. However, the ida creates a longevity of time. I hope that makes sense. If you just say summer break, I worked, perfectly makes sense. But if you say during summer break, it invites the idea of a length of time and thus continuosity, wants to creep into our brain, and thus shite imashita makes sense. During summer vacation, I was working. Worked would work too. That's funny. Worked also is acceptable in English, especially in Japanese. I think it's a little bit less acceptable, although I think it still is acceptable. So, anyway, enough about verb tenses. Basically, we have to pick out, are we talking about how does natsuyasumi best fit in coming after the topic? As for me, if what we're talking about is me, and coming before ida, which is a noun. So, natsuyasumi ni ida doesn't make sense. Knees don't go into nouns generally, almost, very infrequently. Natsuyasumi ni I did something makes sense, but we have this ida here, cramp on our style. We have to have a pattern that goes from this into a noun. Natsuyasumi de ida, again, no, this does not go into nouns. If that were a de aru, or a no, that would work. Oh, hey, look at that. Number 3, natsuyasumi no. So natsuyasumi no ida. So the ida, so between the beginning and the ending of natsuyasumi, and it belongs to natsuyasumi, or it's being described by natsuyasumi. Ding, 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 ding. No links a noun to another noun. I already told you it wasn't 4. I already told you it wasn't 2. I already pointed out that it couldn't be number 1. It has to be number 3. Honestly, I'm surprised that this is N4 grammar. I figured this would be N5, the lower level, simply because this is just simply a noun going into another noun. I don't see how this is anything fancier than just any old regular old use of the no particle. That being said, this was a quick one. So let's just take a small break and talk about what I said right before I told you that 2 was wrong. Notice how 2 uses the de particle in its answer. Okay? So hopefully you can see the de particle there. Now remember, the de particle can also be the te form of des or da, or all that sort of the copula. So that's why I said if it were de aru ida, or if it were da ida, which not so much da ida, which is why I immediately then switched to no ida. I hope you can kind of see how no and da, or at least de aru, are related. So in the previous, or a few lessons ago, we had one that talked about a bus that goes to the train station, and it was the eki ni iku basu. The eki ni iku basu, the bus that goes to the train station. And we talked about how a verb going into a noun is doable. Well, de aru is a verb, ends in aru. It's a copula, but it ends in the aru. And notice how no goes into also goes directly in front of a noun. So it links noun to noun the same way that a de aru links a noun to a noun. So the thing that x de aru y means a y that is x, whereas natsuyasumi no y can mean a y that is being described as x, which I mean they're very similar. They're very linked together. And that's another reason why no and na are so connected. The na particles and nouns both use this n-o and the n-a sound. And na, there's a chance that na comes from narimasu. So there's a whole long history of nos and nas and verbs kind of slurring together. Just an interesting thing to think about. If that went over your head, don't worry about it. We're going to call it here. Have yourselves a happy day. Peace out.